Hi everyone, and welcome to this brand new podcast series. We're diving deep into product-centric digital transformation, how shifting from a project-based approach to a product mindset can truly improve business outcomes. If that sounds like a lot, don't worry. We're breaking it all down for you with the help of our distinguished hosts. Joining us are Prashanth, who leads our design competency, and Porkavan, the agile and project-to-product specialist, and the author of the 12-Point Method Product-Centric Model book. Now, this isn't just any book. It's a go-to reference guide for transformation coaches and practitioners. It's all about helping businesses move from traditional project-based digital transformation to a product-centric approach, one that ensures speed, real impact, and better business outcomes. So, whether you're deep into digital transformation or just curious about how businesses can be more agile and innovative, stick around. We've got great insights, real-world experiences, and some fun moments along the way. Let's jump right in.
Hey Porco, congrats on the book release that you've done on the product model.
Thank you, Prashant.
I read the book, Porco, so it is very well written as a story, right? It flows as a story, and there are a lot of real life examples that you have quoted from your experience, I believe, and it kind of explains beautifully how one can leverage product model to transform their business, right? And how can they gain more advantage by following the product-centered model. I just want to start with asking, what prompted you to write this book? There are dime a dozen frameworks that are available out there, for all of us to look into product model. What did you really prompt you to write a book about this?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Prashant. In the current intelligent era, right? Every industry, be it product or service, they are trying to reshape themselves to compete with their competitors. Absolutely. And differentiate themselves to grow in the business, right? To achieve this goal, they are launching a lot of digital transformation initiative, which is a very good thing to observe. But another interesting thing also is that all these industries are trying to leverage product-centric model to deliver these digital transformation initiatives to achieve whatever the business outcome that they are expecting. As per the PlanView organization survey, there are 80% of the organization have started adopting product model ways of working to deliver digital transformation initiative.
That's a great number.
Yeah, that's interesting point. But there is another interesting information is that only 8% of those 80% organization have successfully transitioned to product ways of working.
So you see an opportunity there. Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
The remaining 92% of the organization have challenges in operationalizing the ways of product model working, right?
Okay.
So that may be due to not able to define right product operating model. It could be a challenge related to changing the mindset from project to product, or even they're not able to digitalize their solutions into a product perspective, right? These are the challenges due to which they are not able to productize, implement the product-centric model ways of working, right? So that's where I thought a step-by-step operation guide based on my transformation coaching experience, leveraging SAFe and project-to-product industry best practices, I thought creating a step-by-step operations guide will help those organizations to successfully transition to product model ways of working, right? So
that's a good thought, yeah.
So through my book, right, I try to solve two problems. Number one, address the gap between theoretical knowledge and the practical adoption. Right? For example, various certifications are there, be it product manager certification or product owner certifications or agile coaching, scrum master. All the certifications are there. But once they get trained and certified, the moment they get into the practical scenarios, right, they face a lot of challenges, a lot of questions. How do you adopt certain ways of working, right? Yeah. So basically, I want to focus that target audience to make sure that this book help them as an operationalistic guide. Right? That's one problem that I'm trying to solve. The second problem is I'm trying to solve with a lot of real life examples rightly called out. Real life examples be it related to business strategy, how the business strategy will look like.
I saw that,
Yeah, and also how do we create the current state digital products view, and how do we create future state product view. So all that real life samples are available from different industries. So these can be leveraged by various practitioners and implement for their product model ways of working. So that's the quick thought that I had. So I thought I'll write this book.
That makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. So, Porco, you spoke about this as a step-by-step approach, right, for
Yeah.
businesses to use and kind of use that as a guidance. But when I read your book, I saw that you divided it into three major phases, like right business strategy, finding the right products, defining the right products, and then how to do these products faster. So I want to pick your brains and see why did you choose these three phases, and how did you kind of write your book around these three phases, the step by step guide.
Yeah, so that's a great point, Prashant. So in I would say it's 2019 is the uh, year of turning point in my learning culture. I completed product manager certifications in February,
Okay.
and in April I completed Safe Practice Consultant certification, and in June I registered for 1 year leadership executive program in IIM around competing digital mindset, wherein I learned how to define business strategy. So though I had been working with clients in the earlier phase as well around these three area, after completing these three certifications, I was able to visualize different things
Yeah.
from those
Okay.
broader perspective, right? Three broader perspective especially, right? Number one, how organizations need to define their business strategy to differentiate themselves from their competitor as a cost leader or as a value creator or both, right? That's
Yeah.
one
Right.
broader perspective I could learn.
Right.
The second broader perspective is how to create a digital strategy, leveraging various digital opportunities available in the market, including Gen AI, and then how do you build digital product that will help them to achieve the business strategy.
Aligning with the strategy.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the third perspective that I could visualize based on this learning is how do we deliver this digital product faster, right? So there are industry best practice like Agile, DevOps, and you have the modernized quality engineering practices.
Right.
Now Gen AI enabled accelerators available. So
Yeah.
all of them
Everything that's making you run efficient,
exactly,
faster.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
increasing the speed at which you deliver value as well as improve the quality. So this is a third perspective, right? So right business strategy, how do you define, and then how do you define your digital strategy and digital product, and how do you deliver them faster.
Right.
So these are three broader perspectives that I visualize after completing the certification. Since
Nice.
then I have been working with various industries for last 6+ years, helping organizations on product centric model transformation. I could also observe that industries requires huge support in these three perspectives. That's when I thought writing a guide around these three phases and then detailing on the step-by-step approach, starting from understanding the current business process performance to measure outcome, will help the organization to operationalize their product-centric model ways of working.
Yeah, actually, it beautifully segues, right? So, without a right business strategy, you can't have a right product strategy that
Exactly.
aligns to the business strategy. And without a strategy, it doesn't matter how much faster you do it. You'll have to have a right product strategy. Yeah. So, that way,
Absolutely.
beautifully falls into a storyline.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. Great. So, Porco, the 12 steps the 12-point method that you have, right? So, we spoke about the three segments that you have in the book. So you have two steps of the 12 steps. You have the first two steps in the first area, the business strategy, and then there are about five steps that are in the right digital product segment,
Right.
and then you have five in the faster way of delivering the right product, right? So the matured organizations out there, they've already mastered. There's a lot of agile ways of working that they've implemented. DevOps, everything has come into play, and but they seem to have all mastered the art of delivering faster products,
Right.
right? So can you throw more light on the first two segments? I think that's kind of relatively unexplored, maybe new for a lot of us in the organizations out there. So can you throw us a bit more light on the first two segments?
Sure. You are spot on, Prashant. So the third phase, the faster delivery, is something that most of the organizations have mastered, wherein they define value stream, development value stream, and they also identify multiple product
Yeah,
teams,
right.
form them as a cluster,
Yeah.
then periodically meet, maybe once in a quarter they meet,
Yeah.
plan for the entire quarter, execute them, measure outcomes. So they have mastered, right? As you rightly said. Where we have to focus is we have to shift left two stages, right? The first stage is right digital product. That's the phase where we have to understand the current digital product landscape. What are the digital
Yeah.
product that we have?
Well,
What are the business capabilities those product offers? And what are the functionality those product offers? And how are they performing? Creating the current state view of digital product, and then envision the future state view. based on your current state product performance and how the competitors are doing with respect to similar digital product, and what are the opportunities available in the digital market, right? In terms of Gen AI or any other digital opportunities like cloud, right, AI/ML solutions, how we can leverage all of them. Based on all that insights of current competitor and the market, you define your future state of product landscape, right?
Okay.
And then you define those product as well as the business capabilities level outcomes. By delivering those future state products, what are the outcome that you are expecting to achieve? And then prioritize those products and capabilities based on those value and outcome, and then fund them. So all that you do, then finally you create a roadmap to get to that
So when you
future
say
state.
the outcome, you're talking about the business outcome or the
It's more of the product level
Product
outcome,
outcome,
right? So for example, if there is a customer onboarding is a product. So by having current, by looking at the existing current view of onboarding product, you'll be able to identify what is an efficiency at which you are onboarding it,
how
customer.
faster we can
How
onboard.
faster you are onboarding, and how is the manual effort versus automated effort in onboarding.
got
All
it.
that you measure,
Right.
and then look at the competitors' view and look at the digital opportunity, optimize that end-to-end efficiency, optimize that manual effort versus automated. Right? By doing that, you'll be able to onboard the customer faster with a lesser manual effort. So that is the kind of example of outcome that I'm talking about, product outcome.
Looks like there's a lot of efficiency that can come from here, which can translate into faster
Exactly.
execution as well.
Exactly. So that is one stage you have shift left. But there is another one more stage that you have to shift left further, which is business strategy, right? So before even start defining right digital product, you have to look at what is your business strategy,
Right.
which is in terms of as an organization where you want to be next 1 to 3 years. Define that, right? That includes assessing your current state business performance, look at competitors, how they are performing, and what is your value chain analysis that you have to look at current versus competitors. Based on all these insights, you define where you want to be as a business in next 2 years. That's a business strategy, right? And then convert that business strategy into measurable business objective. Like I want to increase my revenue by 10% year on year,
or the bottom line.
Exactly. So how do you optimize your operational expenses, which is bottom line, as you said, by 10% year on year? So define those objectives based on your business strategy. So that way, this become a 3 phases end-to-end well-connected ecosystem. You have a right business strategy, and then deliver the business strategy. You define right digital product, and then deliver those digital product fast. So this is the 3-phase end-to-end ecosystem that we need to focus while you are transitioning to products and model.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you. Porco, you did mention when we started this conversation, you did mention that about 80% of organizations, right? 80%
Yes,
is what
you're
you
right.
said.
Yeah.
So 80% of the organizations are looking at product model already. Like, they're trying to implement product model. So see, when we look at the businesses, like, banks or, say an institution that provides loans, they look at their service offerings as products. They started looking at their service offerings as products. Like, a savings account could be a product, credit card as a product. Similarly, from the loan sides also, they look at each of their services as a product. As they've already started doing it. And now you mentioned that the digital organization should also look at their portfolio as products.
Right.
It's an interesting point that you make. So why do you think the digital organization should also look at their portfolio as products?
Yeah, your observation is very interesting, Prashant. As you rightly said, the services industries are looking at their service as a product. The reason is the 3 reasons, right? One is they want to bring a customer centricity while they do a service. For example, if you define loan as a product or saving account a product, they'll be able to look at who is the targeting customer segment for whom they are going to sell this product. So customer centricity is into picture. By converting service into product, they're able to achieve that benefit. Number one. Number two, for those targeted customers, what is the value they're going to deliver, or what problem we are going to solve for them. Those perspectives they bring in. So outcomes, value, and also pricing strategy also they define based on that different product. Right? This is the benefit that they get. That's the reason why they convert or moving from services to a product. They are calling business service as a product.
So they're able to look at how each of those products are performing on their own.
Exactly. Exactly. So if you take the same analogy to a digital solution, let's look at what the typical steps that they do once the business products are defined in the banking, for example. Let's assume that they have defined set of loan product created as a product backlog, and their next step is to take those loan products to the market, attract the customers who are in need of those loan product, and then onboard them and then service them. So attract, onboard, servicing. These are the three key value stream steps that they perform through which they sell this product, right? So in order to make these three value stream step efficient, effective, and to provide a better experience, we build a lot of digital solution, right? So the expectation is that you build those, productize those digital solution also, right? By doing that, you will bring those three perspective of outcome and customer centricity. That's on number one. Number two, outcomes or value, as well as what value versus effort, prioritization based on that. These three things that you will achieve. The same benefit what you achieved in the conversion from service to product, you will be able to get that in digital solution productization as well. Right? That's a main reason. Let's take a quick example to understand, right?
So I think that will be helpful.
Yeah. Right. So as part of attracting the customer, you will have a digital product like lead management. That's where you generate lead, receive lead, manage lead, right? That's one digital product. So the customers could be different. It could be internal customer, like sales agents who are receiving the leads and managing leads. And also, if the lead management is more of a self-service, like do it yourself, right? The customer themselves log into the bank website, search and shop, right? So the customers could be both self as well as the agents, right? So that perspective you bring in when you define lead management as a product. So based on the customers, either internal customer or external customer, you will understand their problem, you will understand their need, and then they bring in business capabilities to address both of their needs, right? And then you will also look at what value each of the business capability will deliver to those different customer segment, right? So all that perspective you will bring in the moment you decide as a product. If you look at the digital solution as a project, you may not be able to bring in the customer centricity, value, OKRs or outcomes, price, value versus effort. All those perspectives very difficult to bring in. So that's the reason we need to move from project to product.
You're giving more accountability to a product, right? Like,
exactly.
So you know how it actually performs for a customer segment or a thing, and how it delivers value, whether it's delivering the right value that it should.
Exactly.
And so, each piece of the puzzle has its own accountability, is what you're saying.
Right. So only when you decide, only when you define digital products, you'll be able to look at current state view, future state view, how to create a roadmap to get there to the future state, and what value you will deliver when you achieve that future state, right? All that you'll be able to create. Right. The another thing, the lean startup also is something that we bring in, right? The design thinking, lean startup, all that you'll bring in. Once you create a future state view, you don't deliver the future state view as a project, right? You deliver them as an MVP. So, for example, in the lead management as a product, in the future state view, you may say that I'm going to build 10 business capabilities newly. Or you may say that existing 5 business capabilities I'm going to modernize. If that is what your future state, you don't want to achieve all of them in one go, right? You want to define a minimum viable product of a business capability that you want to build. So, for example, your business capability may have 20 features. You don't want to build all the 20 features in one go. Out of 20 features, 5 or 6 features as a minimum viable product you build, and then for that minimum viable product, you will design it, develop it, and test the hypothesis, which is in terms of desirability, viability, feasibility. Only when all these 3 perspectives are proven, then you start building the remaining features of that one capability. So that way, you are not building everything in one go and validating at the end of that all business features developed, and then find out that whatever you build is not meeting the customer's need, or not solving the customer problem, or it is not scalable technically, or by building these 20 features of one capability, I'm not able to contribute my business growth, which is not viable. So all that desirability, viability, feasibility, you will be able to decide by following MVP or lean startup culture, which is another best practice that we follow in the productization model. So all of these benefits are critical for any digital transformation to deliver outcomes that we expect to achieve.
So it looks like there is a lot of orchestration at the top, because now it's all looked at individual products. So how it all comes together. I am sure, like you've written about this in your book also, there's a huge mindset change that is needed when you're approaching it this way, right? Like, looking at it as a project versus looking at it as an individual product, and what value it delivers, where exactly it's going to go and sit. So it requires a huge mindset change.
Right.
Do you want to talk more about that mindset change that is needed to be successful in this model?
Of course. This is very interesting point and very critical point as well. The shift in mindset from project based of working to product based of working is very critical to make this whole product centric model success, right? So the mindset I would prominently consider from four roles perspective, right? Number one is the product role, like product owner or product manager.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who runs the product?
Who owns the product,
Yeah.
right? So they should not just think like they are building a feature, they are building one capability.
Right.
They should look like an entrepreneur, right? I'm going to build this product with set of functionalities or capabilities, and when I build this product, how it is going to influence my business growth,
Right.
what impact it is going to create on my business, or what impact is going to create my operational efficiency
Right.
perspective. So these entrepreneur outcome mindset they have to bring as a product owner or product manager. That mindset shift is very critical, right?
Right.
Similarly, the second role, if I would say, is a design, right? We used to think like as a designer is more of an UX UI design, right?
Just the screen level.
Screen level,
Yeah,
right? So that used to be a mindset. Now team members are started looking, designers are started looking at more as a problem solver, right? By building this kind of experience, what problem I'm going to solve for the customer, how efficiently they can perform certain steps as part of their task that they want to execute, as part of their journey that they're going to perform, right? So as an efficiency enabler or problem solver, that's a mindset designer needs to bring in. Similarly, if you look at engineers who are building, testing, right? So they are not a technology engineer anymore. We are looking at full stack engineer, be it a React engineer or Java engineer and so on. They are not engineering the code. They are engineering the product, right? So that's the mindset they got to bring in. So they are not building some React code to create some UI, right? So they are building a React code or they are building certain API through which the customer is going to solve certain problem, right? They are going to perform certain operations efficiently. So that mindset they have to bring in as while they develop particular logic.
It looks like all three of them needs to take ownership of what they are working
Absolutely.
on, right? Like the product that they're working for,
Right.
and be able to travel into a shared vision of what they're.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
So as a designer, I've been a designer like for more than 20 years now. I think you always wanted, our team members to look at us as problem solvers. I think product model is probably the answer.
Absolutely.
Like where they can look at us as much more than screens is what we bring to the table. We are actually bringing the solution to the table. Yeah, that's
right.
a very interesting view.
Yeah. So the last role is the agile role, right? So the agile scrum masters or agile coach, they are not a facilitator. They are not seen as a facilitator anymore, right? So they have to think themselves as a product coach, right? How are they leading and owning the product team to deliver what they are committed?
Right.
As part of quarterly plan, as part of bi-weekly sprint plan, or whatever may be the duration of the plan. As a product coach, they have to own the team and leave them to deliver that outcome and result, right? And also they have to make sure that they are coaching the team to deliver outcome on a sustained space, right? That is very critical.
Right.
And also they have to look at how can they focus on continuous improvement, right?
Right.
So how they can improve the productivity quarter on quarter, how they can improve the speed at which the user stories are delivered, how can they improve the speed at which the features are delivered. That continuous improvement mindset also they have to bring it. So that's how all these four roles have to work together, work as a one team, and then deliver the product to achieve the right business outcome that we are trying to achieve through this digital transformation.
So each product teams are micro organizations by themselves.
Absolutely.
Right? Like they look at their own ownership, efficiency, value, everything, right? As a micro organization.
True. Yeah.
Right. Very interesting thought on the mindset, Porco.
That's right. Yeah.
Porco, the 12-point method that you have, and you structure the book into 18 chapters. So, what was your thought process? I'm like really intrigued to see what was your thought process. How did you kind of divide those 12 steps into 18 chapters? Like how did that come upon?
Yeah, actually, I try to follow the movie script approach here.
Okay.
As you know, right?
So this is coming on Netflix.
Actually, they have 3-point structure, 7-point structure for movie script writing.
Okay.
I followed 5-point structure in my book, right? So if you look at 18 chapters, I divided into 5 points. The point 1 is context setting and introduction. So that's covered from chapter 1 to 4, where we talk about what is the problem that we are trying to solve, what is the solution, which is product centric model, and what are the characters involved in this, starting from CXOs, middle level leadership, team leads, and team members, right? All that introduction happens there, and also we align on what is the one business line where you want to pilot this product model. That decisions happen. So these are all the points that we cover as part of first point, which is from chapter 1 to chapter 4. The point number 2 is more about status quo. This is where we talk about that's covered in chapter 5 and 6, where you talk about understanding the business performance, and then how do you define business strategy which differentiates you from other competitors, and also we talk about how do you align the business strategy to execution.
So the plot thickens.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Right, the strategy to execution, if you look at across all levels. So strategy from CXO level, how that is getting aligned to the middle level leadership as well as the team member level alignment.
Okay.
And then also alignment from the work items perspective, which means the digital initiatives, whatever we identify, how that is further decomposed into epics, or further epics are decomposed into features decomposed into user stories. So initiatives to user stories, that alignment.
All
So
right.
all that we are talking about in that point number 2. Point number 3 is where the challenges are getting introduced, like challenges and midpoint. That's covered from chapter 7 to chapter 11, where we talk about how do you create the current state digital product view, what are the existing business capabilities, and what are the functionalities that you have, how do you create it, and there are a lot of challenges that you will get into while you're defining this current state view. So we'll talk about all the pros and cons, and how do we create the state view, how do you create roadmap, how do you define MVPs, and how do we identify different personas, how do you create journey map, empathy map, all that we explain with real life examples. That is a point 3. And then go to the point 4, which is turning point. That is covered from chapter 12 to 15, where we talk about what is the one product group that we want to select as a pilot, and how do we define product teams to deliver this product group and form an operating model at that stage, right? For the product group, business and technology, how they work together. And also we talk about how these product teams comes together in quarterly basis to plan for an upcoming quarter, and then deliver them sprint on sprint and incrementally measure values.
Right.
All that covered.
Yeah.
And the last point is what the resolution, point number 5. That
ending.
exactly. So that's covered from chapter 16 to 18,
Okay.
where we talk about how do we measure outcomes, outcome measurement at 3 different levels, right? Product team level outcomes like velocity, predictability, and so on.
Yeah.
And then how do you measure outcome at the product level, which is like how do you improve the efficiency of the business process, and how do you improve the optimization of performance of business process, all that outcomes that you measure. And also we measure outcomes related to how this digital product enabling business product growth. That also will have as an metric or outcomes defined and measured.
Okay.
And the third is more about business outcomes. By delivering this product outcome, are we also able to influence your business outcomes, which is improving your revenue growth or contribute to your operationalization, contributing to your optimization of operational expenses, all that, right? And then how do you scale from one business line to another business line, and how do we extend it across organizations? What covered? That's the last point. So that's how I define this as a 5-point structure, and then logically cluster them as a 18 chapters.
Is there a hint to the part 2?
Yeah, so we definitely am thinking about it. Probably we can work together and create rather a book. Yeah, we can do that.
All right. It's been a fun conversation, Porco.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time, and it's a very valuable spend with you.
Thank you. So, Porco, it was a very interesting conversation.
Thank you.
I know a lot of points that we discussed. See, as a practitioner, as a fellow practitioner, like, we sometimes have thoughts like this, where we do a lot of things day in, day out, and, it materializes as a thought. But I think, sure, many people out there will also have this question, like, how did you get the, idea to write that as a book? Like, how did you form that idea? How did you formulate this whole thing? Because this is your first book, right?
Yeah.
So how did you kind of, what prompted, how did you kind of materialize this as a book?
Yeah, it's a good, very interesting point, Prashant. The moment when I decided to write a book, I'm also not very fond of writing, and I'm lazy in writing as well, right?
Yeah.
But I have an experience in writing short film scripts as well as some feature film scripts. I have written 2 scripts
Okay.
wherein I was able to communicate the story end to end. That gave me a confidence that I can also
You can write.
write. Yeah, that's exactly the trigger point.
Do you think anybody can write?
Yeah, anybody can write who has clear thought. They can just put it into.
So what helps?
Words.
Like what helped for you? Like what did help you?
Yeah, so I mean, when I was able to write script and communicate the story end to end, I wanted to take the best practice from there and apply here. That was the uh, initiation that I had, and that gave me confidence also to write a book. Right? So what I did is similar to writing a movie script. I create a plot for this book, starting with what is the problem that I'm going to solve, how the story to be narrated from aligning a problem to solving a problem. I wanted to narrate the high level plot I created. And then I decided how many chapters I want to communicate that whole narration.
So you visualized
It. Exactly.
Okay.
So I decided it's 18 chapters. So that as we discussed, the 3 phases into 12 steps, that itself is around 10 chapters, I would say. Remaining 8 chapters is about initiation, context setting. So all that I want to add in so that it look like a storytelling. Right, and also same time it should help us to move a story to every next level. That helps to communicate why we need to solve this problem, how we have to solve the problem, all that. Right. So once I decided this 18 chapters, and each chapters I had a handwritten notes in terms of what I want to cover in each of the chapter as a bullet points. Once I wrote basically the content of each of the part at high level. 5 to 6 bullet points. Once I made that notes for each of the chapter, then I started visualizing it as a story narration that I used to do while driving or gymming or when I'm sitting idle. I used to visualize it. For example, one of the chapter is where we talk about what is the problem that the industries face and how to get the alignment from the CXOs that the problem needs to be solved and how to solve. So this is what the objective of one chapter. So I had the bullet points around that, and then I started looking at how do you want to communicate this entire chapter story. So I wanted to have it as a 4 hours workshop where I have all these stakeholders of CXOs, and I will share my observations of first 1 week into that organization as a transformation coach, and then I'll hear from them, and I will share my suggestions. There will be a lot of conflicts. Someone will accept my view, someone will oppose my view. How I convince them. So that's where the kind of conflict that rises, similar to movie, right? Some conflict will rise, and then how do we resolve that? So that kind of narration or flow I envision, starting from workshop. At the end of the workshop of 4 hours, we'll agree that the problem is so and so. This is the solution. Right. So this 4 hours narration, I visualized it kind of conversational. Each characters how they are involving all that, and I improvise every time when I visualize. Once I'm fully convinced that the story flow of that chapter is coming along, then I will sit and write it. Okay. So that's how I visualized all the chapters. In fact, the whole visualization of 18 chapters went for more than 1.5 years. The actual writing period is only for 6 months. Because I had everything in my mind visualized.
You speak like a accomplished movie director, right? Like where they take a story discussion for year and a half, and the actual shoot happens like in 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the experience that I have from the script writing, and that I translated into book writing. That's how that gave me confidence that I can write a book, and I could achieve it as well. So, which is a very interesting journey.
Yeah, very interesting.
Thank you, Prashant.
Yeah.